right, so welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is a 3D strategy game called Adeptus, Titanicus, and Dominus. Maybe that gives away what this is, but if you don't know, this is one of the myriad of Warhammer games that's on the market. And in this case, this is an adaptation of Adeptus Titanicus, which is the Titan Legions. I got to admit, I don't exactly know what those are. I do have some knowledge of Warhammer 40k, but I've never played this particular board game, so I don't it's not like Space Hulk where I know what that is. I played the board game and I played the PlayStation game back in the day, but this one escapes me. But so for more on that, we will go to Twilight, who played it.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm not really much better when it comes to Warhammer 40k. Anything I know about it is either hearsay or a little bit of reading on it. I have done. Out of some curiosity, when I ever hear about something relating to it. Otherwise, yeah, this right here I've never even heard of until I got this game. So, yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this game, this gameplay is pretty, yeah, it's fairly simple. Yeah, you're piloting these titans, or god machines, as they like to call them, or things like that. Pretty fitting for this universe, honestly. Where you're basically you order, usually ranging about you play. You can play as either the I think they're called the Imperium of Mankind scenario, or you just play as the Chaos armies, skirmishes. Funny thing about that is that you have a choice to play as either one of these two, but you can only play as you can only really play a story mode of the Imperium of Mankind scenario. Chaos is just simply skirmishes, which are little randomly made up scenarios where you can fight the Imperium of Mankind. And the Imperium of Mankind is the so-called good guys of the Warhammer 40k universe. There are really no good guys in this universe, though.
No.
Yeah, that much I know
about. There are no good guys in Warhammer 40k.
No.
I mean, the Tau are kind of the good guys, but then they realize they're not supposed to have good guys and say there's a whole bunch of, gene therapy and brainwashing and stuff involved in that.
Or the time when people started sympathizing with, the Eldar, and Games Workshop made them so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're, I guess, about as close as you can to get to being the good guys, but yeah. So yeah.
I mean, the Imperium is supposed to be the relatable one because they're the humans.
Yeah, they're also the ones the most in danger of being wiped out, to my understanding.
Kind of, yeah.
So yeah, they're the underdogs. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, the gameplay here is pretty simple. You're usually controlling about 4 or 5 of these titans, and yeah, you have a choice of 4 different orders you can give them. They basically range from walking to wherever you however far you can go over to here, or walk and shoot so many feet. With the further you choose to have them walk while shooting their weapons, the lower your accuracy gets as you're doing so.
That sounds about right for the war game.
Yeah. And those 4 options are really about all you have in terms of your offensive. Oddly enough, in the normal campaign setting, you can't change out weapons or anything like that. You have what you have. Normal campaign is basically a preset of the weapons that your Titans have. And that's it. There is a campaign plus mode, or for some odd reason, but the only difference there is with that one is you can change out your Titans' weapons and armor and such. I don't know why.
Modifying existing technology is heresy.
I see. I guess it makes sense. So yeah, they otherwise, besides your offensive options, your only other means of any defense is basically either keeping your distance from your opposing forces or getting behind the terrain in the battlefield. Like a large boulder or a mountain between you and them, and hoping that they don't find a way to hit you. I found that the AI in this game is not exactly smart. I've had a number of cases where the AI will know that you got a unit behind this mountain here, and usually that would indicate that they can't get you. But yet the AI will travel around the mountain while trying to shoot you anyway, in this vain attempt to hit you. They'll never hit you while attempting to do so. And there's also the cases where they manage to outright miss you somehow. And even though they're on a higher plane of terrain here, the battlefields that you fight on are fairly diverse, and which I found to be quite nice. It made things a little more interesting than it could have been. Here, you've got 3 options for winning your battles. One of them is the obvious destroy all opponents option. There's also the victory points option, which is where you take control of these different locations. The way this usually goes is that after so many turns, you can start acquiring these locations. They're these little markers out in the battlefield, and you go over to them, and that's it. You just walk into those locations and you acquire them.
Again, fairly standard for tabletop war game. Although, in a lot of those, it's like you can't get points for a victory point if there's an opponent too close or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I've found that out.
The idea of victory points for territory control is a very tabletop war game thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the other option, which I never really actually did anything with, was what was it here? I keep forgetting it even exists sometimes. Here, just a moment. Yeah, there's annihilation. Destroying the commanding unit basically did demoralize them. Basically, that's the other option for victory. So yeah, those are your 3 options, and Most of the time, I found it easiest to just destroy everybody instead of collecting the victory points. Though in this case here, from the footage shown here, it would have been wiser for me to actually attempt the victory points here. But alas, it doesn't always work out. So, let me see here. Overall, like I said, this is a gameplay. The main gameplay here, I found to be fairly simple. There is a tutorial you can go through, but I found that actually is more you could simply wing it, and you'll understand everything pretty quickly. Like how you control your units and how you fight and everything. Other gameplay features are that, like I said, there's skirmishes. These are random scenarios that you can enter after setting up your units. That in the campaign plus are probably most customizable. Well, not the most customizable, but are the only times you actually have a customizable units, choosing what weapons you want your Titans to have, and war paint on the mechs and such, and just about, well, not really, not just with them, and just about however many units you want to have on the field as well, and there you have it. There are also the scenarios, which these are also predetermined. And that's quite so much as random but predetermined battles. You're given a victory condition that you have to meet in this battlefield. There's like 15, 16 of them, I believe. You can choose and enter and fight. So that's a bit more content for this game here that you can do. I mostly focus on the campaign myself, but yeah. The other gameplay feature is online, and so far I have not actually been able to do any of that because I found nobody else but me online every time I've attempted it. So I really can't say anything about how well online gameplay goes, unfortunately. And that, I mean, I'm also kind of disappointed that Chaos only has its skirmishes and no storyline, but I guess since they're supposed to be pure evil, it didn't really make any sense to give them a story of their own. So yeah, overall, gameplay-wise, that die is okay. And fairly simple. Nothing wrong with simple, honestly. It has a decent depth with the victory points. The choice of doing victory points, total annihilation, or just destroying the lead unit of your opponents. Not not bad at all. So I can't really complain. Some people might want more depth out of their strategy game. Might not like this, so but I'll get more to that in a little bit. So visuals wise, for graphics and everything, it's certainly befitting the grim dark. Yeah, the visuals are certainly befitting the grim dark atmosphere of the Warhammer universe. So they did well with that. Everything's much brighter in this desert area. Well, what area isn't a desert from what I've seen so far? Yeah, some of the earlier levels, everything was much more dark and post-apocalyptic looking. Not this, nah. Not that this isn't post-apocalyptic looking either. Um, anyway, the visuals, when it comes to giving the game a suitable atmosphere, yeah, and done well with that. The graphics are okay. I think um, I think they actually serve pretty well to fit in with the universe this is in as well. Everything's kind of very rough looking. So um, from overall looks, it's okay. But I think the graphics themselves actually work well with the game's atmosphere, though, and look overall. So the first thing I liked how it looked. Um, the animations, they get the job done. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. The art for everything outside the mechs themselves. You've seen earlier there are some story sequences here. I forgot to mention a story. Um, the story doesn't really matter all that much. I think it's basically Imperium of Mankind is just trying to destroy the forces of chaos. That's basically it. There's apparently some treachery amongst them, though. So they're trying to take out the traitor. Basic Warhammer 40k stuff from my personal experience. Yeah, but yeah, the art and the cutscenes, though, they do pretty well. I liked it myself. That's just me, though. But yeah, the art is overall quite nice. So for the audio and music, the music is pretty dramatic, which I wasn't too surprised about myself. Most, not- most, most notably, the title screen. This big, dramatic, sort of a sense of hopelessness in it, with a lot of with some chanting in there as well. I think your imagination can come up with generally what it sounds like. um, I really can't say I remember any of the music during the rest of the game, though. It's pretty well in the background there. Not really standing out, kind of in a way complimenting the game, but I really couldn't give any examples of anything that's really stood out. Yeah, pretty much the only music that's really going to stand out is the title screen's music. Um, there's a voice acting in the game. Voice acting, it did pretty well. The acting was how to put it, befitting the kind of characters you expect in this universe. They were all generically very tough sounding, very um, the main character, your commander. I can't remember his name, but yeah, sounding like the kind of loyalist to the God Emperor he is and such. Yeah, basically they did pretty well. The actors did pretty well there. Kind of hard to describe, honestly. Basically, generic tough guy characters, basically. Didn't really hear any. Didn't hear a whole lot from the chaos characters, though. Mostly during the battles. Deep, menacing, demonic voices, basically. Did that pretty well there. So yeah, the sound effects, yeah, they did pretty well there as well. So yeah, anybody got any questions before I move on to pricing?
No.
I think I'm good.
Pretty good.
All right then. So yeah, the pricing for Adeptus Titanicus Dominus is $30. Yeah. So the game overall is okay, but I don't think this is a $30 game though. I'd say wait for a sale on this game here. I personally would put it at maybe it's more of a $20, $15 game. Well, it's a like I said, I say that it's simple is not bad, but I don't think the $30 really justifies the overall the gameplay and production values overall. I don't think it justifies the $30 price. If you're looking for something more complex in terms of the gameplay or better visuals than this, yeah, go elsewhere. But at $20 or $15, I'd say the game is all right. I if you're a big Warhammer fan though, and are a fan of the tabletop game of Adeptus Titanicus, from what I understand, they adapted it pretty well here into this to the video game format. So yeah, if you're a big fan of that, I say go for it. Otherwise, if you're not a big fan of Warhammer or interested in this game, I say wait for a sale. So yeah, the overall it's not a bad game, but it's not the game that would really keep me coming back. So unless I was more into if I was a Warhammer fan, which I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan of Grim Dark, so yeah. So yeah,
And this is literally the trope namer for that.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, I like to have some actual good guys in my my doomed universe. Thank you very much. So yeah, the
Maybe Warhammer Fantasy, certainly not 40K.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about Warhammer Fantasy, honestly. I mostly ever hear about 40K. But anyway,
Well,
yeah.
they've
So
altered fantasy anyway, so like repeatedly.
Let's just say fantasy is more traditional
Yeah.
in a lot of
Like
ways.
the Imperium or the Empire or whatever are still kind of assholes, but it's not like all of the citizens are fanatically devoted, yada yada.
It's not the hyper parody that 40K is.
Although even in 40K, you get like in Rogue Trader and stuff, you get some like people being actual people. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if you're a big fan, go for it. Otherwise, wait for a sale. Not a bad game. It's okay. I really wouldn't recommend it to anybody though. If you're looking for something more complex. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, then. So that'll about do it for this installment of the Fragments Silicon Reviews. The week ahead. So on Wednesday, May 26th, we'll be having James Spanos and Victor Fung. I think that's how that's pronounced. There's a P and an F here, which is
Hmm.
unusual. Of Wormwood Studios. We will be talking about their latest release, Strangeland. It is a game that is certainly living up to that title, I can tell you. And on Friday, May 28th, we'll be having Artur Gregozik of Forever Entertainment. He is the project lead on the House of the Dead remake.
Hmm.
So, we were supposed to have that interview last week, but Petty Fan ran into some back problems. And now that that's resolved, we will press ahead. And press ahead we will. So, and we will also be having a new episode of The Last News Desk on the Left. So, until then, I shall wish you good gaming.